Greetings to all. And at the beginning of all discussions, whether it's a large group or small, we start off with a thanksgiving. Starting first with the people who are there well enough to attend, which is all of us here tonight. And that we start off with greeting each other. And after that we go right to our Mother, the Earth. And we give thanks to our Mother Earth that she's still carrying on her duties to take care of us, provide for us. What the Creator had intended. Her job was to tend to her children. As we walk about here on earth, we're grateful. So we kindly and respectfully put our minds together as one, and we give a great thanksgiving and a great gratitude to our Mother, who's still carrying on her duties. And it takes us on to the next, which would be what is planted here, the foods that sustain us in our lives and our daily livelihoods. And the animals also and their livelihoods, and the medicines that are provided for us so that we can be at peace as we walk about here. And all that was planted for us is to keep us at peace here, keep peace and contentment as we walk about. And so we kindly and respectfully put our minds together as one, and we give a great thanksgiving to all the medicines and the foods that were put here and that are still carrying on their duties. And we direct our thoughts again to what was put here into the forest and all the trees. And we also acknowledge that they all have a leader. And same with the medicines and the foods. And with the medicines and the berries. And we all have leaders, just like the people do. And so our instructions are is that we give thanks kindly and respectfully to all that was planted for us here to survive here on earth as we walk about on our Mother. And then we direct our thoughts to the winds, the gentle winds, and we know too that the winds can be very powerful. And so that we acknowledge that the winds carry pleasant changing of the seasons, and we acknowledge that, and we ask at that time that the winds will carry on their peacefulness as they travel through the forest. And then we bring our minds to the west. From the west comes the thunders, and the thunder beings that are carrying on their duty, what the Creator had intended them to do is to work for us here and to carry the water and to bring the water over to all that was planted for us as humans to walk about in peace and contentment here on Mother Earth. And so then we direct our thoughts also to the sun, our elder brother, the sun, who warms our bodies and warms the earth and helps the plant life grow, works and coincides with the waters that were just brought here by the thunders. And we give our thanksgiving kindly and respectfully toward the sky world with our grandmother, also the nighttime sun, whose great responsibility is to control and help direct the currents of the waters, and also the waters that we are all carried in before we were able to walk on earth. And it's our grandmother Moon who's in charge of the great responsibility of making sure that children for the future will still be coming here today. And so we kindly and respectfully put our minds together as one, and we give thanks to our grandmother. She's still doing her job, what the Creator intended, and also to the stars up above, our ancestors who also carry on their work that was intended for us to survive here on earth. And they also carry a dampness to the plant life. As we sleep, they take care of their needs of nourishment. And so at nighttime too, they guide us and direct us as to when into the importance of ceremony. Ceremonial to all thanksgiving and to all living things. And the stars help guide our minds that way. And they're a reminder that the work is still going on. And so all of the sky world people and their duties, we kindly and respectfully put our minds together as one and direct our thoughts toward the sky world, that they're still carrying on their work. And so it'll be that way in our mind, and then we put our thoughts to the four beings who guide our thoughts ourselves here on earth. They have a responsibility also to keep our minds on the right path of thanksgiving, because that's what all that's put down here for us to survive is what we're grateful for. And they're keeping us on that right path in our minds. And so we direct our thoughts to them also and give our thanksgiving to them, and our minds are of one in that way. And we direct our minds to the Creator, that His work is still going on. We still see His beauty And we still hear all the songs of the birds and all the work that he's put down here for his people to be at peace, contentment as they walk about here on Mother Earth. And so we kindly and respectfully put our minds together as one and direct our thoughts to the Creator that his work is still going on, and that we're very grateful to see what he has put here for us to be at peace with. And so that's a short Thanksgiving, because there is so much left out. And it's also left out again to put it into English. We leave out a lot more too, but the Thanksgiving, what we call this ganohanyo. It's sometimes referred to as the words before all else.
Yeah, I've been on this ride for the last 21 years, and probably about 15 of them I rode by myself. My family never went with me. And it didn't matter to me. That's the way I was. If you don't want to come, so be it. Now I got 2 granddaughters that want to go with me, and one is really enthused about riding. So I'm picking them up. They're coming by Thursday, and then we're going to be leaving Friday morning. So they'll be riding either in here or with their grandma, I don't know. But we're leaving Friday morning from here. I load up my horses, and I'm on the road, headed for Montana. And it's something that I look forward to every year, because you see your old families, or you make new families, and you make new friendship. There's a lot of stuff that goes on at these rides.
There's so much history, I had a dream there. I had a dream, and a woman spoke to me, but I didn't see her. Then she said, "We churches on duhegde I talk of head, ampa o initia pie. Ampa o ahakanatai." I thought about it, and then I woke up. I didn't know if I was dreaming or, And then my real name now is, I had a name before that, but I didn't know it. No, but in my dream, that lady said, you are the last attack before dawn.
It's good to be here. It's good to see all the youth riding, taking care of each other, helping each other. The supporters, that this is actually our land, and we were here for a long time, and it's something to be proud of, what your ancestors did over here. You have to realize that they were actually willing to give their lives so their people may live. And that's what that saying means. They were willing to die so their people may live.
The other thing is, you got to remember that the Horse Society now, we've blessed a chanupa, and that's going to be following us as we move along. It's always been Mal's dream to bring everybody together, traditional. Think about those things as you travel. Offer your prayers when we finish tomorrow. And when we get home, we still need to start coming back together.
It becomes our grandmother's job to look out for the next generations to come. It's ours to make a decision that will not negatively affect them when they get here.
We have this presentation to do tonight, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's also kind of scary. I've been texting with people back home. You know, it's scary, this. You know, who am I to be doing this? Who am I to be delivering this message? But you know, that's my role, and that I have to do that. So, you know, it's awesome, the people that we meet. You know, you're doing this video on the Unity Ride, which is a big part of also what we're doing. People sacrificing, again, they're sacrificing their time, and they're putting their lives on the line, and they're doing all these things, riding through blizzards. You know, it's just so heartwarming to know that there are people still in this world, not just Native people, but your people as well. That you know, if we all can collectively come together and start sharing the truth, that it is possible to make a difference.
It's a challenge for me. It's a long ways. It's a long ways, and my people, they're calling us refugees, is what John was saying. And we don't have any treaty back in Canada, because all the things that happen in Montana, we're blamed for. Although we are part of that. Our people, Dakota people, are all together. All the things that happened. But that's the past. Now is the time. If we're going to be all in one family, we have to work together. That's the reason why I'm here.
My name is Wendell Yellowbone. I've lived here a majority of my life on the Pioneer Indian Reservation. I grew up with horses ever since I was a little person. One of the things that each year that we do, and that I participate, from a spiritual and from an everyday life, is to participate in the Little Bighorn cultural ride, we call it. The Battle of Greasy Grass, the Battle of Little Bighorn, where the 7th Cavalry was defeated by the Lakota Nation. In 1995, and we continued it on. Last year was our 20th year we rode horses. During that time, we created a lot of change. The Cheyennes, who we ride with on this ride, we've actually created an interest for them back into their horse society, horse culture. And they started to ride horses with us. Each year something changed. The community of Busby, Montana started having a celebration during the time we would ride. And they would have horse events. They bring the spirit of the horse back. Each year we go up, something new is added. What I wanted to say is that for the Little Bighorn ride is a lot more than just riding a horse from the 20th to the 25th. There's a spiritual awakening that we want to instill in our youth to remember who they are, where they come from, and that the people that they represent in this life. That's the most important part. The horse ride is added just for an event for the kids to participate in. And the other part is to remember the songs and the prayers. We ask each and every one of them to do the songs and the prayers. That's what we do. Because we want to instill something in the children so that they would carry on. Each time we have a circle up where we do the prayers, I tell them that a lot of us that started this ride, we may no longer be here. We're getting ready to make our journey because we're getting older. In order for something to continue on, it's your responsibility to remember what we do here so that it perpetuates itself generations down the road. And that's the most important part. To remember those who gave, who are heard their generations are not here. They got rubbed out. Their families, they're not here. They have no representation in this time. But what they gave was their life to take a stand. That stand was to live. That's what this ride represents. A last stand for us to live, to be recognized as human beings. And that's the true fight with the United States government army. When we defeated them, things changed. And when things change, may not been for the best, but the perception is that we are still here. That was the important value for that fight, to continue us to be here. The rules was to rub us out, to eliminate our presence here, to eliminate what they have done, to cover up, as the word is thrown out there, the genocide. If we were not here, then they would show us in history books and picture books that these people used to be alive. But because they resisted American change, they're no longer here. We represent a nation of progress. That would have been their justification. But with the Little Bighorns taking a stand, like many other native cultures, indigenous people, each have their own stories to tell, how they all took a stand to survive, to live, to see their grandchildren, see their grandchildren. That's the most important part about the Little Bighorn Ride.
Do you speak English?
Yeah.
Not
so good.
Not so good? That's okay. I don't speak very good Tibetan.
Father John is very supportive for KTJ, and we are very honored to have another church religious and very supportive.
Yes.
And so thanks so much.
We're very, we mutually come from antiquity. From the first.
Yes.
We come from Jesus, and so our traditions are very similar, and we feel that we must find ways to work together.
Yeah.
In ways that make sense to having a better world.
Yes.
Through love.
Yes.
And compassion. And that's our framework. That's our foundation as well.
Yes.
So we're hoping that you'll have time while you're here in Woodstock. We've been doing a project with the native people, and we're very interested in the ancestors.
Okay.
Here. And the field over there is we call the field of the ancients.
Okay.
The meadow. Have you walked on the Magic Meadow?
Not yet.
Okay. That is
Magic Meadow.
Magic Meadow.
Oh,
That is an ancient field where the native people would go to play lacrosse.
Okay.
And there's a burial ground
Mhm.
where the ancestors are buried here.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the oldest burial grounds.
Okay.
And we would like to see that returned to the Native American people
Mm-hmm.
because it is their sacred site.
Yes, yes.
And it is theirs.
Yeah.
They were here 5,000 years before we were here.
Yeah.
So we've talked to all the native people in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And Justin and I have been traveling a lot with the Six Nations of New York.
Niagara Falls, whose mighty flow of water provides hydroelectric power to the northeastern United States. This is Indian country. They may know that the name Niagara is Indian. It means the thunderer of waters. But they probably don't know about the 10,000 Indians in New York State. They belong to the Iroquois League, a federation older than the United States itself. The Six Nations of the Iroquois League still maintain that they are a sovereign state, independent of the USA. Turtle Clan chief of the Onondaga Nation, Oren Lyons.
The Six Nations are the Senecas, who are the keepers of the western door, the Cayugas, who lie in between they and the Onondagas, who are the central fire. To the east are the Oneidas, and further than that, the keepers of the eastern door are the Mohawks. A sixth nation was entered into, and that was the Tuscarora Nation, who came from the Carolinas during a time of great strife. We first protect our land base. We must safeguard that, and that's a treaty. We are a sovereign, independent nation.
You lose him?
He's going to the Senecas for breakfast.
Oh.
Sure.
Not to Rochester yet. They got 2 trucks, 9 horses. There's 22 of them altogether. 9 women and 3 children, and the rest are men. At that point, when they get there, well, we'll be talking about the 2-row. Our people are going to be paddling down the river, and that's going to take place tomorrow in Troy, New York. And they expect 250 paddlers, and it's a reenactment of our treaty that we made with the Dutch 400 years ago. So they're going to leave off at Russell Sage College in Troy and arrive in New York City on August 9th. So it's a major event. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And the Unity Riders, they were originally going straight to Washington, D.C., but they come around and they're going to go down along with us on the river.
That's right.
So
That's right.
it's going to be a circus when everybody gets there, because everybody's jumping on now.
That's what we need, though, right?
Everybody's jumping on. It's okay.
That many people, to be
Hudson River is a
accepted.
river.
It's hard to condense it, but because you always leave something out. And when you get done, you think, well, I should have put this point in there too. This would be helpful. It's all going to be helpful. And so this represents the Haudenosaunee. From the east is the Mohawk, right close to this area that we're in today. A little bit inside is the Oneidas. The Onondagas is the capital of the Haudenosaunee, the Cayugas, and the Senecas. Senecas are the keepers of the western door, united as one. Each one has their own fire. Just like each one of us in this room, each individual, we have our own fire. And we know that's our job to protect that fire. because we all know what happens if you don't, when that fire goes out. And so inside the great law of peace, it's talked about that. Your defense or your fire. Each nation has their own decision making. Anything that comes in that is only going to affect the Mohawk, then it's their business. Same with the Oneida, same with the Onondaga, Cayuga, and Seneca. But if something comes into the Mohawks that may affect the Onondaga or the Oneida, it becomes Grand Council business. And all nations are summoned to a meeting at Onondaga.
To let everybody know that
you know,
you gotta
matters
be
at
kind
hand that come in.
of quiet when you go to the horses. Calmly go to them. They had a long trip, 4 days and 3 nights. They've been in horse trailers, stopping here and there. Over the past 15, 25 years of Unity Rides, and they traveled all over the nations with all their experience, and through their experience of the unity of the horse and it brings to the people. So I'd like to turn my attention to the uncles. So
all mankind need to get together, because the kids are the ones they're going to be living the next 100 years or more. And then like the water too, the water in the environment. The water has to be, we have to protect our water. There's a lot of fracking, drilling happening, and destroying our water. And then I'm proud of my people. My people, we travel day and night to get over here. And there's crazy drivers out there. There's signs there that says 30 miles an hour. They're going 60, 70 miles an hour just zooming by. You know, without any accident, we came.
Yeah. Yes.
Just get out of the way. We're going to do the biggest medals. Where we put it up?
I can't even picture my house. I'm like,
when I first heard about the ride, you know, I thought it's an amazing experience, a once in a lifetime kind of journey, and using the horse in our culture is Shunka Wakan, meaning sacred dog. Wakan, sacred dog, is Shunka. The reason we call it that is because they've helped our people with so many things. They've helped us transport camp. They help us hunt. You know, the horse itself is medicine, and it carries our warriors, our people swiftly. And when I first heard about the trip to the United Nations, when we were going to go through Woodstock, and we were going to go through Troy, and it was awesome. It was a good feeling.
Good morning. Good morning. Let's go. Get up. 8 o'clock. Breakfast time.
A while back, they had a ceremony in Sioux Valley, and they loaded this pipe for this event. For you guys and the horses and all the women that come here, that whatever what this ride is for, that it would happen and it'll go through, because everything that we're trying to do here is about balance, relationship with the land, spirit. That's what this is about, so we can be who we are again as Dakota people, the Buffalo people. That's what this ride is about.
I'd like to thank the riders and the Tansua Hetzer Scumba, Kami Talkers, and a good to Ska, and not Sioux Valley either. For okay, for a good to Ska, and it's nice. Okay, you're my spirit, it's a Taku. Taku Chunkum there. I'm glad to be part of it.
In the earlier years, the horses used to be really integrated into our society. We even have songs about our horses. There's even a sacred ceremony called a horse dance. In your vision, if you see in your vision you're dancing and there's horses, that part you need to go out and dance and participate and dance, and the horse would come up to you. You never know this horse. The songs are integrated. Even before the sun dances, they would have the horses trample all the grass in the Sundance Arena. The horse represented independence for our people. It also represented protection, to protect our people. It also represented food. It helped us to get our food sources, carry our food, go out long distance, protection, to look for things. That's what it. So horses really integrated into our society. Then after the Indian wars, the wars between each tribe in America created these places. Ours is 1.7 million acres. They call it the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. 1873, when we were set here. And what the choice was, that we made that choice to be here because they were going to move us to the Missouri, to the Mississippi, to Oklahoma. And so we actually took a stand to stay here.
The horse itself, when they first came from the Spaniards, they were they bunched up in groups. And one day the warriors were out there walking, and one warrior went down to a creek bottom or lake to get water. He was getting water and he heard something, so he looked up, and that horse was standing there, and told him, go ahead and have a drink. I know that's what you came for too. So anyway, they started conversing together, and that horse told the warrior, he said, we'll make friends, but you have to take care of me.
Today's modern time, most now are into different types of ride. The rides themselves. No longer do we ride to the location. We horse trailer. We use trucks. We use every form of equipment to transport our horses. We use modern day saddles. We use modern day bits and bridles. We sometimes train our horses a different way. That's how much influence we adapted and incorporated into our horse culture. Now it's getting even stronger. We're incorporating that spirituality, our nipi ceremonies. We bless our horses. We pray for them when they pass. We take care of them. We use modern and old ways to take care of their health. That's a true commitment. And then for the young, it's a relationship. They have somebody to talk to, somebody that will listen, somebody that won't talk back.
We live in the reservations. In reservation, for us, we have the smallest reservation, and it's only 2 square miles. Most of the people are on welfare. How can you live on $195 a month? That's all they get. So, you know, our people been living the last, if I can remember, the longest time. A lot of them never left the reserve, and there must be a good budget to save that much money to survive throughout the year, monthly, if they get $100 and some. It's all oral history because, as I was saying, our people are in the shadow. We can't, our people long ago, it's forbidden to talk about Dakota 38, the mass hanging, because it's, we fought for our land and died. And our people are being hunted, and we can't endanger some of our close relatives. And so we're not allowed to talk about the history.
If you talk about the history, you mean you get arrested?
Get shot.
My little guy put on my boots. He said, "Dad." "What?" He said, "How long did you have your boots?" "Hey, I bought them about 5 years ago. Still have it." "Gee, 5 years ago?" He said, "Me?" He said, "Looks like every month I change boots." And I said, "You know the reason for that?" He's thinking about it. "I don't know. You're growing. Look at those feet. I remember when they were like this. Now they're like this. Next time I see you, they're going to be like that. Those little boots we got you, they're going to grow. You're going to grow." And then finally, when you grow up to be an adult, feet don't grow no more. You can wear boots like me for 5 years. You can save yourself some money when you get older. Things get expensive when you get older. He said, "How?" He said, "Well, first you get married, you have children, you buy all these. Pretty soon you're working out there doing all kinds of things." I said, "That's the world. But if you go back to the way we're doing it, natural, so you don't have too much concerns."
15, 20 years ago, the world has changed. We know that, but you know, like, who the hell is going to listen to us, eh? You know? You know, it's all the government people, all the big corporations of the world. They're making billions and billions of dollars, destroying Mother Earth, digging into the ground, polluting our water. And you know, in that prayer song, I'm visible, you can see me. God is everything. I'm going to burn the earth, you know. North Pole is all melting, and all the environment is out of control. We say these things, but nobody listens to us. I said, he's just another crazy Indian. But you know, our message, God is showing with the people. This is the message I want the world to hear. And again, you know, I'm very happy to be here. Oh, I feel so happy. I'm never dull, And one of the things my stepfather said to me was, you know, my son, my friend, never walk around with a long face. Walk around with digging me out over it, like, you know, walk around with a round face. I knew what he meant, but I wanted him to explain it to me. Hey, Dakota Nation, you know, like, what are you talking about? Walk around, don't walk around with a long face, with a frown, mad and all that. But you know, walk around with just like the sun, just like the moon, and then you're happy. People all over the world, good parts of the world, are walking around with a long face. This morning there was 26 people got shot up in where's that? Up in Connecticut? Yeah. Well, this is the result of that. Gun is deadly. Why are we along all these guns? Get rid of all these guns. Let's be friendly. That this way, there's not going to be no violence. But you know, again, who the hell is he to tell us that? You know, you dress up like a, with the uniform on, and they're just like the Gestapo. They're just like, they're just like the Ku Klux Klan. Like, they were here. It's still here. We got to address these things. People get hurt when I say these things, but this is honest truth. I've seen it. I'm 85 years old. I walk through that. There's so many things. We're on the move. The world is, the youth is, they're waking up.
It's a pleasure to be riding with you today. The kids are so excited.
Yeah? How many horses you got?
Three. We have three little ponies. They're rescue ponies. They're from the rescue. So if you get a minute, come on over and meet the kids and the ponies.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Enjoy the ride. All right. Enjoy the ride.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
These riders are from Pipestone, Manitoba. I'm from Saskatchewan. We're Dakota. We're trying to send a message to everybody, and hopefully you can pass this on and gets through.
I can take 3 back in my car.
Okay.
After I take one
We
with
have
the
2
trailer.
minivans, whichever one is most clear, one of them is
Well, then it makes it too complicated to figure out one.
I don't know, loose bridles or whatever.
We go all the way across.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's like this one.
You're gonna end up Washington. That's right. Come on there, come on. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, up to the flag and then we're gonna wait. That's not the flag. Yes. Well, I wish you all the luck in the world. Thank you.
The Dakota people, we are very honored to be here in New York to send a message of our water, saving our water, protecting our sacred sites, protecting our ancient burial sites. Very touched in the heart to walk in this waterway, to meet the other tribe in this historic event. This is the year 2013, and as us Dakota people, we have come a long ways. And we will continue to keep our traditions, our language, our heritage alive through the Shuka Wakan, the horse. Our horses brought us prayers. Our horses have brought us blessings to us and to all the people of New York, North America, and around the world. So it's a very honor to be here in New York, state of New York. It's an honor. Talk to us. Talk to us.
There's one thing that we always strive, and get things together is our budget. Yeah, and that was one of the guys that called me that works with the finance committee, and anyway, he's going to run it in for us. Hopefully we get it by Thursday. But we did do our fundraising ourselves. So we've got 6,000. But that's just to get there. Yeah, and financially we're doomed, this year. And every year I used to take care of it. But ever since I got in this condition, I can't do anything. It's really hard to do anything. I can do a lot of things, but I can't walk, And now, I got to get a young man to start doing the legwork, That's what I need. But they're hard to find. They're hard to find. Especially when they hook up with a woman.
Can you tell me about Wounded Knee?
Well, Wounded Knee took place after the Battle of Little Bighorn. In 1890, when Sitting Bull got killed up north, his followers, split, and the one that came this way was Bigfoot. Bigfoot came this way to come for refuge in Red Cloud Agency. This is what they used to call the Red Cloud Agency. So anyway, he came for refuge on his way, to Red Cloud. And on the way, somehow, the messages got, or the news media misinterpreted a lot of things, and they still do today. And they said that the group was still doing the ghost dance, and all these things. And anyway, the leader at that time was Bigfoot coming this way. And a lot of the Sitting Bull's supporters, or family members came along with him. And some must have stayed back somewhere on the way, but a lot of them didn't come here, and when they got here, there must have been some like 300 and some people that rode with Bigfoot. And anyway, the U.S. Cavalry met him north of Wounded Knee, and they escorted him into where today the battleground is, down in the bottom down there. That's where they got escorted to. And they camped out there, and it was in the wintertime, so they camped out, and they, more like built their campfires, and Sitting Bull, Bigfoot at that time was sick, with they said it was pneumonia, and he was sick, and so anyway, he still had the white flag that was given to Sitting Bull, and Sitting Bull, that was his way of making peace with the government. And anyway, he had that flag with him, and he was showing it. But the military, was a branch off of the 7th Cavalry, another troop, I don't know which troop it is, but it was off the shoot off of the 7th Cavalry. And I don't know, somehow the story goes where this deaf individual, they were trying to take his rifle away, and they were collecting all the rifles from all the males, and he didn't want to give it up and fired. Nobody got shot, but he fired up in the air, and that's how the shooting got started. And and how could you justify one shot, nobody getting hurt, to a massacre? And a lot of them headed north, east, south, back where they came from, and a lot of them got shot there and were wounded and stayed there during that day. And it took them 2 days to get them all cleaned up, and all the wounded, they took to Pine Ridge, by wagon, and they took care of them there. But it's a sad situation, and we still blame, the 7th Cavalry, for this, because they were the shoot-off of the 7th Cavalry at the Little Bighorn, and it's sad that they have to feel that grudge, because they got defeated, fair and square, and they, to them, they were outnumbered because of the rifles that the cavalry had, but the Indians had more because they knew their country, and during the battle, it started at the little Battle of the Rosebud. That's where the first skirmish took place. And from there they went back into Little Bighorn River in Crow Agency. And that's where they regrouped. And that's when the leaders all got together and sent everybody in different directions. So when the cavalry was coming down, there was a group that were like the scapegoats, decoys, and they took off after the decoys, and that's how that group got knocked off. It just kept coming, but every time they went a different direction, they met with opposition, ready there. And the biggest battle was right there at the top of the Little Bighorn River there, up on top. That's where the last big battle took place. That's where they got surrounded, and they were even, from the stories that I heard and that was told, is that some of the women were part of that battle at the Little Bighorn on top. Some of the women. So when the battle was over, the women were right there. They took, what they did was they cleaned Custer's ears out. So we told you not to come. Maybe you'll hear a little more. So that's one of the things that was told at that time. But the Wounded Knee was the offshoot of the 1876. It's sad. It's really sad that they had to retaliate, against another group, not the same group that Crazy Horse had, because Crazy Horse was fighting for freedom. He wanted to be free, but yet he wasn't. I guess he was policed, to come back into on a reservation, but he wanted to be a free man.
So I'm Lieutenant Ken Fay. I'm with the Public Affairs Officer of the 2nd Company Governor's Horse Guard. Today, we're honored to have the Dakota Unity Riders come and visit us here at the 2nd Company in Newtown, Connecticut. And the ride of solidarity and unity between for the town of Newtown and the tragic events of December, of course, and to come and meet with us as one of the last standing cavalry units still in active service. So today we're going to have them ride in and be greeted by our commanding officer and our troop. They're going to line up along these posts here.
The mounted color guard, mounted troopers, stay on your horses. 3 of us will be dismounting at one point.
Then the entire group would be at attention. Then our group, Dakota, would then ride in front of their group, kind of in a military review.
Company, order, on!
One and that one. These two were my first 2 saddles.
Wow.
So that was supposed to be mine, but so I rather use it.
You like this saddle better? The original.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter either one.
But look at all the times you put electrical tape on it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure, right?
The frame. It's pretty old.
Right. Oh yeah.
Really old.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Driveway there, I felt like I was going to war.
Yeah, you had that feeling, right?
I had that energy rushing through my body. Just to look at all those guys, I thought I was going to war.
This is just to tell people about this back home, like, you know.
Yeah.
My grandkids are going to be telling this story. Look at their cushions. Did this, you know, kind of thing.
I believe in horses. The horses do in our tradition. The horses are the ones that are doing all the healing. They're the ones that carry the medicine, and the horses do mostly the healing. They started like in schools. They're teaching the young people the language. So sometimes they invite me, and I talk to talk to the students about the history. And I often say non-natives should be involved too, because they have to work together and they have to know the history, just same as our young.
A volunteer told me today on the phone that this is the first time that Dakotas have met any kind of extension of the U.S. military since the Little Bighorn.
Yes.
That's pretty epic when you think about it.
It certainly is. I like to hear the Army recognize that.
Yes, that would be nice.
I think they do now. They renamed that battle.
Yes.
What did they rename the battle to?
It used to be called Custer's Last Stand.
Stand.
People thought if you don't name a battle after the guy who
lost
it.
Yeah.
So they gave it
Duh.
a name.
What's the name of it?
I think it's now the
Little Bighorn.
Little Bighorn. I've been there. It's a stupid place to have a battle.
Hey,
Custer was.
try to show me a smart place to have a battle. Well, he was all arrogance and ego.
Well, you know.
Next year I'll be riding towards that area.
Are you getting a lot of press or a lot of people listening to this message about environmental protection in an age when we're just trying to destroy the Environmental Protection Agency, or at least the Republicans
doing a good
We
job.
just started.
Aren't they though?
We just started.
Been the evidence that we were here before.
Absolutely.
This is thousands of years old. And like just a couple weeks, like about a month ago, we rode into Saskatchewan. Right along the 49th parallel, there's a buffalo skull. You know, if you look at it from the sky, it's a buffalo skull. Right over here is a thunder.
And they just said they were random rocks.
Anthropologists in the States recognize it as a sacred site. You know, they recognize it. They recognize the Dakota people. You step over that imaginary line, it's a random scattering of rocks that can land on you. We're refugees in our own land.
And the problem with spirit is, you know, we humans want to touch things. We want to say, well, wow, this is a board, we can touch that. This is a horse, we can touch that. This is a human being, we can touch that. This is, you know, my shirt, we can touch that. But what you can't touch is love. What you can't touch is spirit. What you can't touch is, even your heart, if you fall in love, people can take a dart and touch it, but realistically, you cannot touch those things. But yet they're more important than what it is to something that we call living. Our culture is being changed and has been changed. Even the fact that someone talks about building a pipeline and going for oil and going for gold and going for silver and uranium, even that discussion begins to change us. Because then we have to think differently. What does that really mean for us? It doesn't mean much to us, but we have to think, why does this outside world want that?
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, even Abe Lincoln. He may have freed the Afro-American, but out of gesture for Mankato, he killed Native people for their statehood, punished them. So, Mr. Lincoln has a really good rapport with the Afro-American, but for us, he's another conqueror, president.
How much is this?
13.
13?
Josephine. Josephine's break.
New York City.
No. They're going to the UN
Oh wow.
on horseback.
Where are they coming from?
Manitoba, Canada.
Canada. Nice. Are they going to go from here right across? Protest or something?
No, not a protest. It's the indigenous people.
Oh, right.
They're original people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't describe it right now. I don't know. It's exciting, you know. Like, I still can't believe we're still here and this far past Woodstock. All the good places, all the good people that we all met, and fulfilling. And sometimes it's, I wake up in the morning, it's like, man, we're almost there in New York, man. Just could see it in the sky, nighttime. Still can't believe it, man. Like, it's happening. We're here. Sure. For real though, man.
So, when you get to that point in New York City, the big New York City, that you only seen on movies or under the internet or anything, what do you think will happen, or how would you like it to happen?
Holy. Man.
Please welcome the Unity Riders. On behalf of the New York City Native community, and if I may, the Haudenosaunee, we welcome you to this territory. Chief Gus Heiligel, Chief Heiligel, and the Dakota Unity Riders. Please welcome them. Give them a warm welcome. Thank you, Chief.
My name is Gus Heiligel. I'm going to make it short. We travel 2,000 miles to bring a message. Message that we wanted to take it to the United Nations is sacred sites back home in Manitoba and Saskatchewan, surrounding area. There's a lot of drilling, fracking, pipelines. They're destroying our sacred sites. Oil companies, they're going through our sacred sites. They just plow through even burial sites. They're going through. So they have put in new pipelines and leaks. We believe the spirits are causing it. I represent our grassroots people. We came together and agreed that we need to protect our sacred sites and our environment, our water. Everyone needs clean water. I like to say, I'm sorry to say I'm not a generic. I'm an original person of North America.
Thank you so much. In the interest of time,
and we're still on the horseback. We are the original people of North America, and we have stood up and traveled 2,000 miles with our medicine horses to give you this message. In North America, we have looked after our land. The oil companies are destroying our land, the earth, water system, and the environment. Everyone needs water. Water is human right. We have come with our medicine horses and spread the message of healing and unity. We bring a message of healing, of environment, to unite to keep our clean water and stop the pollution of our land and end the disintegrate our sacred sites.
Kindly conclude, because
we have all nations to unite with us to protect the water and the earth.
That's really something that people need to start understanding, that, if they don't keep this thing going, as elders of this ride, or this organization, we lost. We'll lose everything.
Were some of these stories shared with you during your rides? Yeah. So riding horses is not about just sitting on the animal for 8 hours. Carry all that spiritual culture, values, and beliefs as you sit in relationship to that horse.